All right, and welcome to episode 8. Soon not going to be able to do that. I'm just going to do it next.
Drive off the road.
Well, no, I'm soon not going to have enough fingers.
Oh, yeah. Need like an extra hand or something. A stick. Pretty funny.
On the end of the bike. This is my good friend and Islanders fan as of late, Grant Pelley.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
This is very awkward. Why are you putting me on the spot like this? No, it's all good. Yeah, this intersection's pretty bad. Well, I think I picked a proper guest, seeing as the Islanders just won last night.
Oh, yeah, what a game.
What a game.
What a game.
Excellent. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, the first thing I got to do is report to you all and give you some, I'd say devastating news, but, you know, they did good. The Caribous, who are playing in the Allan Cup this week, they just lost their Allan Cup final game to the home team Dundas. So Caribous, who went 3-0 in the round robin, actually, they had originally beaten Dundas in the round robin game 5-4 in overtime. So they didn't manage to win against Dundas twice. They lost home for the cup. So it's still a good effort by Liam and the boys. Liam and Pender and Whiffen, Reed, Hodges, or Hedges, I should say. Another Caribou there I'm definitely forgetting, and I'm sorry. Driving, they're not going to check my phone. But no, it's a good effort from the boys up in Dundas. It's good to see that the local boys can actually compete.
Make it that far, yeah.
That's true. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see the Allan Cup when it was here 10 years ago. But it's a good effort from the boys, for sure. 100%.
Definitely.
Hopefully,
see that every day.
No, hopefully they'll get to go and play next year. I don't know how the Allan Cup works. I think there's only, I don't know if that's every couple of years or every year. I'm not entirely sure.
Someone comment, let us know.
Yeah, there you go. Lloyd will definitely know.
There you go.
We got the Growlers. They're currently in their first round playoff matchup for the C.H.O.W.
Yeah.
They're 1-1 now against the Adirondack Thunder.
Nice.
Adirondack won game 1. The Growlers managed to win last night. They play game 3 tonight, which will be the last of the series to be played in Adirondack. The way the ECHL playoffs work is the team that has home ice advantage gets to play 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
At home.
Later games.
Yeah. So the team that's, you know, I guess non-home ice advantage, I don't know if there's a name you put on this,
Play first.
they get to play their first 3 games. So they're 1-1 right now. So if Growlers can come home 2-1,
Perfect.
it'd be a pretty good chance that they'll take that series. Now I'm hopefully getting in for a game 5 or game 6. Don't know. That'll come down to the last minute decision.
Make a trip to town.
Well, I mean, if they win the series in 5 games, I'm, you know, not going to be able to go to game 6. There's not going to be not going to be a game 6 at all. But no, I've been to 3 or 4 Growlers games now this season, and they're excellent hockey.
Yeah,
it's great hockey, fun to watch.
Yeah.
Boys actually plays a really physical game.
Yeah.
No place for me. So, well, yeah, I'll definitely support the Growlers. I'm going to wear my sweater next week on the show.
There you go.
We had to wear our
Sweaters.
matching sweaters. They're not white jerseys, but they're also not jerseys.
Sweater.
Sweater.
There you go.
Sweaty. It's pretty good. Labradorian Darryl Williams has, I'm not sure how it works. I don't think John Tortorella was fired. I don't think. But Darryl Williams, which has been the assistant coach for the Flyers since 2021, he played the last game of the season against the Blackhawks as the head coach. So it's nice to see a local Labradorian, but still local, make his way up into the higher areas of the NHL, I guess you could say. That's pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty well it for local stuff. More to say. The only other thing that I've got to say outside of playoff related stuff is What the fuck, Brant Treliving? What the fuck? I'm yeah, vulgarity, and I always check the box out when I upload it to YouTube. No, this is not made for children. So I guess it's just not going to wind up on the child side of YouTube. But what the fuck, Brant Treliving? I'm pretty upset about it. I'm not going to lie. Treliving, I think, has done a bang-up job as the GM for the Flames over the last so many years. I mean, we've drafted Dustin Wolf, Mangiapane, Dubé. I mean, I'm not quite sure how far back his GM stuff goes, but I mean, dude, I found he was a good GM. And I mean, Johnny Gaudreau never gave no warning that he wanted to leave last year. He just up and he said, "No, I'm not signing. I'm signing somewhere in the States."
Like there was a very similar thing with John Bears, the Islanders.
Yeah, very similar thing. Matthew CHO.W. was a little bit honest and said, "No, I want to be traded out of here before my contract is up." That's fine and dandy, but Treliving was like, "Okay, well, I just traded Monahan. Now I got Gaudreau gone and CHO.W. wants out. What do I get?" So he goes out, he looks, and as fast as he can, he picks up a guy who literally had the same amount of points as Gaudreau the same season, 115 points. And yes, Huberdeau had a shitty season, but it's not to say that he's not going to spring back and have 70 or 80 points next year. I mean, I'd be satisfied with a point per game. I mean, he picked up Kadri, he signed Kadri in the off-season. He, like I said, now he signed Huberdeau. I don't think he done a bad job at all. A lot of people were calling him to be fired when Johnny Gaudreau walked out, and a lot of people weren't looking at the realization that the real reason Johnny Gaudreau wanted it was because him and his wife wanted to move to States. Didn't want to be in Canada anymore. And that's a known thing amongst Calgarians. I don't know if it's really widespread league news, but no, I mean, he didn't want to be in Canada anymore. He's an American. He wanted to move closer to home, and he wanted, you know, his wife to... I think that she was one of the bigger reasons why he didn't sign in Calgary. She wanted to stay in, or I should say, move to the States. Yeah. But I mean, I don't blame Treliving for any of that. I mean, he managed to get Huberdeau for CHO.W. It's you know, it's pretty cool. So the fact that we've lost 3 of those players and now we got a GM that done a pretty good job gone is questionable. Now what's going to happen to the rest of the team?
Next season?
I mean, is Sutter going to stick around? Don't know. It's hard to say. It's pretty
In the air.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely concerning. Enough about my stupid Calgary Flames. Let's talk about your Highlanders.
All right.
Not to get confused with the Highlanders from Goon.
Highlander fish.
No, that's Highliner.
Yeah, Highliner.
I mean, the guy on the old Islanders jersey looks like Kevin Highlander. It's kind of a triangle.
Yeah.
Triangle. What's that? As they put a rectangle. Let's talk about the Islanders, dude.
All right, what do you have to say about them?
You know what? They're playing really good. Despite being down, well, they're 2-1 now, right? I mean, despite being down those 2 games after being in Carolina, they got nothing to be ashamed of.
No, like the last 2 games they haven't been close.
Yeah, for sure. They, I mean, they last one in overtime, so I mean, you can't get much closer than that.
No,
right?
they were playing great that game. And the Carolina won 6 power plays.
Yeah. Islanders have not scored on 19 straight power plays at home. See, that stat flick up on the TV last night. It was like...
They broke that last night, though.
Did they score on power play?
I think scored on power play last night. I think it was power play. They scored on.
Oh, well, it might have been the 20th power play. It was the 19th power play they had not scored.
No. I mean, their power plays.
Terrible. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. They're a team that plays a grittier style game.
Yeah.
They're not there to score and win 7-2.
No. They're... Like I said, they're tough
play against.
Yeah.
And despite coming in on a wild card, they're doing well against Carolina.
Yeah, I mean Carolina's a stacked team. Like they got a lot of talent. They're fast. They're ready to play.
Burns is having a freaking series, man. He's doing really well for Carolina. I mean, like I want to see the Islanders win that series.
Mm-hmm.
Not just saying that because you're sat here. No, I'm serious. I'd rather the Islanders win that series.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be disappointed if Carolina goes on and you know, I prefer them to win. Well, see, The Metro Division. I mean, I don't say they're
Metro
my.
Division is stacked.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like,
They're not my favorites out of the Metro Division, but I wouldn't care about Carolina. For sure.
yeah.
But no, the Honors got absolutely nothing to be ashamed of.
No, like the last period, third period, last game yesterday was great. Like they played their best in a while.
Is it MBS Arena? UBS Arena?
Yeah.
Man, that place was
electric.
Yeah.
The goal Matt Martin got, you couldn't even hear like the goal
No.
because the crowd was so loud, right?
That's fun.
Yeah, and that's the first playoff game they played there, right? So,
Honors fans are very enthusiastic,
yes,
as you could remember.
From Nassau. Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Tavares played his first game back on Long Island?
Yeah.
Oh,
Every time he touched the ball.
man, there was masks and there was signs and
Oh yeah, people had their jerseys at Tavares and just had it taped out.
yeah. The asshole chant was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. That's the kind of stuff I like in hockey. A lot of people say it is not meant to be in the game, but I think that kind of stuff
it definitely adds to like the
theatrics.
Yeah, morality of the team. Get the crowd going and whatnot.
Yeah. When he gets the crowd into it, it's definitely more fun.
That's right.
They scored the 4 fastest goals by a team in NHL playoff history last night. Yeah. They scored 2 goals. What was the score before they scored? 1-1, that's right.
Yeah, and then Paul Palmieri got that power play goal.
Yeah.
And then Matt Martin, so I think it was like
44 seconds.
44 seconds later,
Yeah. And then they had an empty netter.
Yeah. And then Anderson got the
deflected goal like 15, 20 seconds after the puck dropped from the empty netter.
Yeah.
I don't know why they pulled the empty netter something instead.
No. Yeah, it was something.
I mean, I know they were down 2 goals, but I mean, Carolina can score a goal without pulling a goal.
Regardless, right? Yeah.
They're a crazy team like that.
Yeah.
With all 4 fastest goals, I mean, that's to a team that might be put out in the first round.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool stat.
Team, yeah, don't be talked about.
I mean, I really thought the Honors had a chance against Tampa Bay. Both times they met Tampa in the conference finals there. Right? The bubble and the year after the bubble. The All-Canadian year.
Yeah.
Honors, I mean, they took them to Game 7.
That's right.
Right? So, no, I'm not, like, the Honors team changed a bit since then, but I'm not shocked to see the Honors in doing good in the playoffs.
No.
Now, you move on to, no, hold on, actually, one last thing, because I was going to say the next round matchup, but that Nikas, the hit from...
Oh, yeah, the hit Nikas, yeah.
Who was the player that hit him into the bench?
J.G. Pajot.
That was Pajot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's only like 5'9".
He's not a very big dude.
No, he's not a big dude, right?
I remember when he was on Ottawa the year they were playing against Pittsburgh for the chance to go to the finals.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he bumped him into the boards. He went head first and feet, and he went fully into the Islanders' bench.
Oh, yeah.
And when he got off, he sucker punched Brock Nelson.
Like, Barley was trying to help him up, and he got up, and he sucked.
He sucker punched him. He was like
right in the face, right?
I know, it's like
you can watch Barley too. He just changed like his demeanor right away, and he was like trying to shove him off the bench.
Yeah, he gets off the bench. The guys are like, okay, there's no penalty call. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
That should definitely be
a call, right?
Well, you would think it would be something a little bit more. It's a straight sucker punch to a guy, and he's not even on the ice.
No, right?
I think it'd be 5-minute penalty.
Yeah.
Like,
he's so cute.
Gets up, he goes down the ice, he gets the stick from the bench, keeps playing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. It was fun though. I had a big laugh.
Yeah. Great. Flat.
It kicked 0 right away. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. And after that too, I like Lambert's. He put Cizikas and Martin on the ice for the rest of the game after that.
Yeah. The end of the game. Well, they actually canceled the last 2.9 seconds of the game because they were like, there's no point because the guys are just going to fight.
Yeah.
We're just going to give 10 new guys on the ice to fight.
Yeah.
So they.
I feel like that's going to set them up for next more games.
More next game.
Wouldn't surprise me if they start Cizikas and Martin.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Matt Martin scored, honestly.
Yeah.
He's almost definition level goon.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do much.
No, he's just there to you should start pretty much.
You need those.
Yeah.
That's their fun.
Yeah. Follow them on everything.
But what I was going to say is, like, I mean, if the Islanders get out of the series, they have to play the winner of the Rangers and the Devils.
Yeah.
That series, I thought it was going to be an even match so far.
The Rangers are totally destroying.
There's goals.
I mean, the Rangers got what 10 goals in the last 2 games, and it's like
It was
and
both
New Jersey
games.
has what, 2, I think.
Yeah, both games have been 5-1.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say there. Like, I mean, I was expecting, you know, I'm going for New Jersey in that series.
Yeah.
Because of Dawson Mercer.
That's right. Yeah,
That's my go-to there for that one.
Definitely.
I would love to see Mercer, you know, play well and put the team ahead. But I mean, they just lost 2 games at home.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Going to Madison Square Garden.
Now I have seen series before where the home team lost the first 3 games at home, so the series would go down to Game 7. Excuse me. The series would go down to Game 7, and neither home team has won a game.
Wow.
I think that happened last year with Tampa Bay, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, there's been instances in the past where the home team has lost 3 home games, and then the other team has lost 3 home games, and then they're here to Game 7 saying, like, okay, well, you know, is it going to stay true that the away team's going to win, or is the home team finally going to win a game?
It's great.
So I mean, that could happen with the Rangers and the Devils.
Yeah.
It's possible. Sheet on the back of that one. I'm sure there's something else there while I'm at this red light that I was supposed to say about this series. And I got a green light. I don't know. I don't have much to add for that one.
No, it goes back to Madison Square Garden tonight.
Yeah. No, it'll be a fun game. It's good hockey to watch. I mean, it's rough. Guys are scrapping out like left, right,
Oh
and
my
center.
God, what game was it? They threw what, like 6 Devils players or 8 Devils players and 6 Rangers players.
Yeah, the bench was looking pretty empty.
Yeah, they didn't much to choose from.
That was game 2.
Yes, yeah, that's good.
They just had barely anybody left on the bench. You look at the bench, not even sitting close to each other.
No,
There's space to
Yeah,
do.
that's right. Yeah.
This looks really funny.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you got to be careful too, because if you get suspended, you're letting your team down.
That's right. Yeah. And the playoffs is a big thing. Like, you know, you're there to win.
No, that's right. I mean, you got a player gone. I mean, if somebody like Thomas Tatar or even Dawson Mercer goes out and sucker punches somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
They're gone. So they get suspension for a game or 2.
their team's down to nothing. They can't.
It's going to cost you.
Yes. So you're not going to see much, heavy stuff. The scrums is fun to watch.
Yeah, it's playoff hockey.
Speaking of suspensions, you got that suspension on Michael Bunting.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God! Oh, it's awful. He full shoulder checked him to the face.
Was that last game?
Game 1.
Game 1.
Eric Cernak. He dropped him like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't see the need of that for sure.
No, that's right.
And I mean, a lot of people are calling him Nazem Kadri 2.0. Because Kadri was famous for going his suspensions for friends.
Yeah.
And now Bunting's doing it. So, I mean, that series is 1-1 right now for the Leafs and Tampa. But, I mean, that could go anyway.
But, I mean, the scores.
Yeah.
First game to the second game. Right?
Tampa won the first game 7-3. Toronto won the second game 7-2.
Yeah,
So, I mean, they both score goals.
that's right.
It's just all about momentum swing.
Yeah.
And basically, either team, if you get on the wrong side of the momentum swing, you're right off the bat, you're going to be, down because apparently they can't come back from being down momentum-wise.
Yeah, that's right.
Is this the year that Toronto finally manages to do something? I said before the playoffs that Toronto has a good chance of making the second.
Making it past him.
Yeah. Tampa's declining. Not as good as they were.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, with that hit to Cernak, they got him out, and they had another player, and then they had Victor Hedman. Right?
Yeah.
So, with all those players out, is really taking a toll.
Cost them, right?
It's taking a toll on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Even Pat Maroon was getting into it. Pat Maroon was heckling Ryan O'Reilly because they played together on the St. Louis team.
Okay.
He was over with a stick rattling around his gloves.
Yeah.
And then you had Pat Maroon was heckling the fans there at the side of the penalty box. I think that fan actually got escorted out. That's how big of a racket they were getting into.
That's the thing that happened with Corey Barrett in the box.
He got ejected at the end of it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got kicked out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I mean, they were all getting on with craziness. But the only other thing to talk about for that series is that Tanner Jeannot, who was out for most of the season, ended up coming back in Game 2 for Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So the fact that they got Hedman and Cernak in, and the other guy is Isimo, isn't it? I think is his name. He's out as well. So I mean, with Tanner Jeannot back is helpful. Yeah. But I mean, I want Tampa Bay to win that series only because I don't want Toronto to win the series. Right, yeah. And Toronto fans will hate me for saying it. They'll grumble and they'll come up with something that definitely is too vulgar to air on the internet. Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't want to see the Leafs win the series. I'd love to see them lose 8 years in a row. Or 10, or 20 years.
Whatever it is.
So the only other series to speak on in the East is the Bruins-Florida series. That one's been fairly interesting too.
Surprising.
Yeah. The 4 East series, of course, now is what I've watched the most of, and that's because of the time zone.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, I've watched a lot of the Boston-Florida series. That's the other game that's on the same night as Islanders and Hurricanes. So every time the period's over for the Islanders, I'm flicking over and watching. But also the end of the series, the end of the period for Boston, Florida. I was really surprised to see Florida come out and hit Boston so hard in Game 2.
Yeah,
was it 6-2?
Something like that. Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, I mean Boston come out and won. They were up 4-0 last game. They won 4-2. So Boston is up 2-1 in the series.
Still wouldn't be nothing to like the Islanders and the Canes. It's like they're over.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They can definitely tie up the series. They're at home now, right? This game. That's the point, right? They can definitely tie up that series. I mean, you got this great battle that's on the go on the ice between Tkachuk and basically everybody on the Bruins. Yeah. Tkachuk and Lomberg is another guy that's getting into the play, getting into the scrumming. And I mean, on Boston, you've got Nosek is getting into it, Frederick's getting into it, Hathaway is, Marchand is. Boston's got a...
Marchand's always getting into it.
Yeah. Bertuzzi's another one, right?
Yes.
You've got so many players on Boston that are just meant for this kind of hockey play.
Yeah.
When they found out Bertuzzi got traded to Boston at the trade deadline, Marchand was in the gym exercising. And he was like, he said, everybody I hated in the league, he said, now plays for us. He said, I don't hate anybody anymore. He said, I'm the happiest player in the league. So, I mean, Bertuzzi and Hathaway right there.
Yeah.
So, Boston can definitely still do damage, though. I mean, I'm not saying Florida's got a big chance on winning this series, but you could definitely put a dent in Boston. And wear them down a bit, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to realize that these teams that a team plays on the way to the finals is wearing them down.
That's right.
Way. I mean, there's a lot more wear and tear than the regular season. These guys are
playing the game every second night, and it's you gotta give it your all.
Yeah, you're getting in there, you're getting in the corner all the time. Yeah. You're definitely playing harder hockey than regular season.
Oh yeah.
But it's good. It's good hockey to watch for sure.
What this is.
Yeah. I take it you didn't hear it. During the game 2, I do believe it was, Nosek and Tkachuk were getting into it. And of course, they say Tkachuk is dirty. And I mean, yes, I know that. And I knew that before while he was on Calgary.
Yes.
I know what he's like. I'm not oblivious to it all. He was getting at Nosek, and of course, instead of, saying, "Oh, you're a shit hockey player," or you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny, something like that. Kachuk was going, your wife's a whore, a fucking whore. She's a fucking whore. It was. I was all on hot mic. You can go watch it.
Oh yeah.
It's on YouTube.
All right.
it's like, dude, look, you don't do that. You don't do that.
That reminds me. I was checking social media today after some of the Canes fans are super pissed at Matt Martin.
Yeah.
As it would be.
Oh, well, I mean, he's Matt Martin.
But they're tweeting to his wife, and they're like, "Your husband's a fucking bitch. Like, hope your marriage ends in the worst possible way."
Yeah.
And his wife just responds with a kissy emoji.
I'd expect Philadelphia fans, right?
Yeah.
Not Carolina fans. Philadelphia fans are known to be. I mean, Islanders fans aren't much better.
No.
But Philadelphia fans are known to be pretty.
Forward.
Yeah. Phillies fans are just as bad. I seen that they had $1 hot dog game there, this week. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. And instead of everybody oh man, cheap hot dogs, sick, they sold 58,000 hot dogs. Now some of them may have been consumed, but a big portion of them were in a giant food fight. They started
on the ice.
In
the crowd.
Yeah, not even on the field.
Oh my god.
Just back and forth in stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed something too. Last night with the boxing game, they were throwing rats on the ice.
In Florida?
Yeah.
That's been a Florida thing for years.
So I haven't seen too many Florida games. So.
Well, that goes right back to the 90s. Who did they play in the finals? Was it Detroit? The year they went to the Cup, they went to the finals back in the 90s. Rats, I think that started that year. There was something to do. Are you putting that?
Rabbit right there?
There's a rabbit. Where'd you? Oh, what are you at, buddy? I don't think I'll get him on camera. No, he's gone.
He's gone.
I was going to show the world wildlife. It'll be on Discovery Channel next.
Perfect.
That'd be my first sponsorship. Get on Discovery Channel.
Right.
What's up, Jack? That's a horrible impression. Yeah. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, where you going, my son? Where you going? You going for a jog? He gone. We interrupt this broadcast
for our special
guest host.
Rabbit.
I gotta tag him now.
Yes.
Bugs Bunny.
There you go.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
Oh, the rat thing.
Oh, the rats. Yeah. Rats, rabbits.
Easy.
Yeah. Oh, he's still going around over. He's going in circles. The rats. They threw the rats on the ice back when they went against Detroit and all that stuff. I don't know if it was a.
Where Detroit got the squid.
The octopus, yeah.
The octopus.
I don't know if it was something to do with that, but yeah, this started way back then, and every year they've made the playoffs. They bring back rubber rats.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I see different traditions like that, right? Now, speaking of things being thrown on the ice, let's hop right on over to the Western Conference, and you've got the Edmonton-LA series, which is honestly out of hand. Game 1, LA won in overtime. And I'm not quite sure what the penalty was because I never checked because I didn't stay up late that night.
I watched, I think, the first period of that one.
LA won in overtime, and all the Edmonton fans were sucky because it was, bad penalty call, and LA had the power play. So, of course, they started to pitch garbage on the ice when LA won Game 1. Lovely fans. Classic. I mean, I've seen a lot of Calgary Flames shutdowns. I've seen them lose a series 4 games. I've seen them lose multiple series 5-1. I've also seen them make the second round twice. Don't forget these fans. In the last 8 seasons at that. But no, I've never seen Calgary fans throw garbage at the ice. That's awful.
Yeah.
Where was it too? In Toronto played and they had garbage. Was that in New York? Was that the Islanders?
Had garbage play? Or garbage thrown in it?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There was somewhere in the season where they had garbage thrown on the ice against Toronto, and they had to they had to shut the period down and send the team down to the locker room because they were, I mean, you know, it's only garbage in hindsight. We also got to realize somebody could throw something heavier than garbage.
That's right.
I'm going to pull over here on this road and check which team that was. But beside that, the series has been pretty good for what I've watched.
Triceland's definitely.
He's got better point per game in the playoffs as an Edmonton Oiler than McDavid does. That was the Devils. Sorry, that was the Devils when they had that big long win streak, and they lost the win streak to Toronto because they lost the game 2-1, and they had 3 goals waved off. All 3 goals were goaltender interference. Wow. And they had all 3 goals waved off, and it wasn't because it was Toronto. It was because they hated the refs. Yeah. Once they had the 3rd goal waved off, they just absolutely filled the rink with garbage. Way more than Edmonton threw it.
Yeah.
The New York hockey fans, man, they're enthusiastic about their hockey. That's fucking true. No, that series between Edmonton and LA, that's been fairly good.
Yeah, it's been close.
It's 2-1 now for LA after another crazy call last night. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen it, but I didn't look up the preview for
there was a puck in the corner between Matthias Ekholm and I'm not sure which LA King. But anyways, its stick was straight in the air, and the puck, which went up, and it was going upwards, hit the stick. I mean, they say it didn't hit the stick. I don't know how they can say it didn't hit the stick. Like, I don't know if they're arguing the fact that his stick wasn't in the air for the purpose to try to knock the puck down and why they didn't blow it. I think that's kind of what's on the go. But, I mean, it 100% hit the stick. But anyways, if you hit the puck with the stick anywhere above the crossbar, the play is blown dead. It's played with a high stick. That's the call. Yeah. So the puck hits the stick up high. McDavid is the closest player to the puck next to the player that's in the battle for the puck, Ekholm. Yeah. McDavid's like this with his arm, like, high stick. The whistle doesn't blow. Play continues. And LA scores the game-winning goal in overtime on the same play.
That's very similar to what happened in Game 2 with Carolina. Can't remember the Carolina player, but Scott Mayfield got a stick to the face. He fell down to the ice, and the whistle wasn't called. The linesman was there, that they can't really call it by stick. But the ref was a little bit further, like he could have seen it, no problem. And on that same play, they scored the overtime winner. Right?
It's happening a lot. Referees are always a questionable thing in playoff hockey. You know, there's always somebody blaming the refs for something, right? But, I mean, they were apparently almost 5 full minutes reviewing this in the situation room. Yeah. And everybody was waiting around, and they said, good goal, and then LA was like, we won the game. So, LA is up 2-1 in that series. They're giving Edmonton a really hard time. Like, it's really... I mean, LA could take this series. They could put Edmonton out. And Edmonton is a cup favorite for a lot of people. Yeah. They were, predicting
for the West. Yeah, they're predicting
to be the team, right? I mean, they got a few extra pieces that were needed to the puzzle, but I mean, if they lose to LA in the first round, I mean, this is going to throw everything for a loop in the West, pretty much. For a lot of people's brackets and predictions, I should say. Yeah. No, that series is good. I mean, Doughty is always running his mouth in playoff games like that. So it's fun to watch for sure. Is that all I got marked here for another series that's on the go in the West? I think the game should be over now. Actually, I'll pull over in a second and check the score. That's the Vegas-Winnipeg series. That's a fun one. They always be rough anyways. That's not the first time they've met in the playoffs. No. They met... Did they play Vegas the first year that Vegas was seen? I could be wrong on that. I feel like Vegas has played Winnipeg before. I'll check the scores here. A little bit easier for me to talk anyways when I'm parked. Let me see. Diddle-it. 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah, for Vegas. 1 minute left in the third. Jets have an empty net. This is going to be an interesting one.
When I left the house, like I said, it was 4-1.
When I left the house to pick you up, it was 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's pivotal game. If whoever wins this goes up 2-1, right?
Yeah.
So, did you see Barron getting hit?
The stitches when you got his head cut there. Right?
Yeah. In the scrum, battling for the puck, he fell over and Chandler Stevenson kind of pushed him, and he went down on Brissot's skate, and the skate went right here like this.
Just missed his eye.
Narrowly missed his eye.
Yeah.
The dude goes off. Actually, the first player to notice he was bleeding wasn't anybody on the Winnipeg Jets.
That was Vegas.
It was Chandler Stevenson. Yeah. It was the guy who pushed him, and he kind of helped him and looked at it, and he gave him a shove towards the bench. 4-4. It's 4-4. Jets started up.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit! I shouldn't be cheering for the Jets in this series, but honestly, I prefer the Jets to win. They're Canadian. That's one thing, and that goes against all my logic for Maple Leafs hating. But I don't necessarily like Vegas. No. I don't think they need to do well in the playoffs. They're too young.
They don't need to win yet.
They need at least 10 years of sadness before they can win anything.
Yeah.
That's how it should be going as a sports team.
Right.
Not let them make playoffs for the first 10 seasons.
That's a rule.
Think they'd sell any tickets?
Wouldn't say.
25 people up the stand. But no, I want Winnipeg to win the series for sure. But yeah, Barron, 75 freaking stitches. And the dude comes back with a cage and plays in the third. Incredible.
Only happens in hockey.
Oh, yeah. Basketball player will be off with a broken fingernail for about a month.
Yes.
But no, that's insane that Barron is that.
He's fine, yeah.
Crazy. He's still playing now.
Yeah.
He looks like somebody that's been in a boxing match, though. His face is purple and yellow.
Yeah.
Awful color. That game is going to overtime. Holy crap. Wow. That's cool. Colorado Seattle series.
That's a surprising one.
Yeah, I've watched a little tiny bit of that. Seattle is actually doing very well against Colorado there. Very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I didn't have much faith in Seattle when they got it.
They didn't do well last year. Looking at their team, they got nobody there that's a superstar.
No.
So, yeah, they're just working well. They're kind of like the Islanders in the sense where they don't really have a lot of big scoring power.
Yeah.
But no, the series is tied at 1. When I turned on game 2, it was 2-0 Seattle, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way Seattle's winning both games in Colorado."
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Colorado has not lost 2 home games in a row in the playoffs since 2008.
Wow.
I was flicked up on the screen while I was watching. No, I'm on you. I only watched the first period. We're looking at 12:30 at night finishing the first period, right? Working in the morning, it don't really.
Don't work out.
Sometimes I did it last year when Calgary was playing, right? It was 2:30 in the morning. I had to work the next day when Calgary scored the overtime goal against Dallas in Game 7. I'm pretty sure I screamed loud enough to wake up the neighbors 4 houses down. That was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't stay up that late all the time. I'll probably stay up and watch. It's a Colorado game on tonight, isn't it? Colorado Seattle.
Yeah.
They're the 11:30 or 10:30 game. I'll probably be up for most of that tonight.
Watch that. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
What's the others?
That's in Seattle.
That'll be game 3. Be in Seattle. Yeah. First ever playoff game in Seattle. And Dallas and Minnesota. Steve would be happy now because Steve's a Minnesota fan. Actually, it's the only Minnesota fan that I know exists.
Yeah.
Now, there's not too many Islanders fans around, to be honest, but it makes more sense for Islanders fans to be around because they won 4 cups in the 80s. There should be a bunch of dudes around in their 50s and 60s that should be Islanders fans. Actually, the guy that's out the edge of where I walk around the harbour with the dog, he was out and he made a comment on my Flames jersey. That was the last week of the standings. And he was like, know how you feeling, buddy? He said, Islanders fan since the 80s.
There you go.
I don't even know who it was. But he was like, hey, man, hockey, I'm going to talk to you. Happens a lot.
Way it goes.
Happens a lot.
Usually, yeah.
I get messages like all the time. Like this guy I haven't spoken to in 6 months. He's like, hey, man, Flames missed playoffs, Leafs are in. Ha, 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 ha.
Just out of nowhere.
And I'm like, well, thanks, jackass. Just wait till they choke again first round before you start blasting
the parade and all that, right?
Yeah, but off topic here now, yeah, of course. But no, Minnesota is up 2-1 in the series against Dallas. A lot of people had Dallas picked to win that series. Minnesota is doing a bang-up job there.
Yeah,
Now, I mean, the winner of that series is going to play the winner of Colorado and Seattle. I mean, I personally think that Colorado's going to walk out of the Central Division, right?
Yeah.
But, no, Minnesota, I wouldn't sleep on them for sure. They had Gustafsson in for game 1 when they won.
Or was in for game 2?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, Gustafsson won you game 1. Why would you play your other goalie for game 2 when you won the first one?
That's right.
Fleury did horrible. Dallas slaughtered them. So they put Gustafsson back in for game 3, and they won again. So obviously they knows who they're going to go with.
That's right. Or they should, anyway.
For sure. The only other thing that's really notable to talk about this series that I've noticed is Pavelski was hammered into the boards like head first. That's like the third time this dude has had a head injury in the playoffs in the last like 6 seasons. He's out. He didn't fly with the team at all to Minnesota for games 3 or 4. But I don't know. He might be back for game 5. I don't know. All right, so that's pretty well. I mean, yeah, that is all 8 series. I mean, I've got a clear favorite in every series, I think. I don't think there's any series right now. Like, there was a few going in that I was like, I don't have a favorite for this series, but now I'm like, yeah, I definitely.
You do, right?
Right? I mean, I definitely want Florida to win. I definitely want the Islanders to win. I'd rather New Jersey win. I definitely want Tampa Bay to win, just for the fact that I want Tampa Bay to win this series and lose next one.
And lose the next one against.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want Toronto to win. In the West, I mean, I'd prefer Minnesota to win. I would like to see Seattle do something. It'd be
interesting to watch.
You know, I got this thing, like, I just used the logic that I don't want Vegas to win because they need 10 years of sadness. Seattle's in their second season in the league, and I'm here saying, yeah, it'd be cool to see Seattle win. I mean, you know,
Vegas got a lot of stuff handed to them.
They did, yeah. And Seattle is doing pretty good for themselves as well. But, you know, they're playing last year's Stanley Cup champion. I did want Colorado to win over Tampa Bay, though, only for the fact that Newell was playing on the team. And Tampa winning 3 cups in a row is boring. Boring hockey.
Yeah.
But, well, Seattle will be cool to win that series. Like I said, Minnesota. I'd rather, like, I'm a Calgary fan. I'm not supposed to want Edmonton to win, but like they're a Canadian team again, and McDavid does deserve a Stanley Cup. You know,
and the guy pushes.
Dude, he got 153 points this season.
He gives it 100% every game.
He's sooky though.
Oh yeah,
freaking old sooky baby. But no, they deserve to win a cup for sure. Right? But I mean, if LA puts out Edmonton, you know, I'm not going to be crying myself. Yes, buddy, slow down. This is a residential neighborhood. We call Crime Stoppers on you.
Good.
Yeah, you got to drop a gear and disappear. Right? He disappears far away from me. Well, the other series, Vegas and Winnipeg. I'd rather Winnipeg than that. I mean, who do I hate more, Edmonton or Winnipeg? I probably hate Edmonton more recently. Now, Calgary played Winnipeg during the bubble and put them out, right? So, I mean, I don't have a hate against Winnipeg in that sense. Now, Winnipeg took, quote-unquote, the playoff spot from Calgary. That's more or less to do with Calgary having a poor start to the season.
Yeah. And
just not wanting to play. Now, Calgary played a good end of the season, mind you. But, I mean, Winnipeg took that last playoff spot. Right?
Yeah.
But no, I'd rather than beat Vegas for sure. I don't know if you agree with most of those.
Yeah, pretty much agree. Yeah. In terms of Winnipeg and Vegas, definitely Winnipeg. Not that I'm a big fan of Winnipeg.
No. Check to see now.
I like them better than Vegas. Yeah.
You know, it's in your intermission now. Of course, you'll have to wait and see. You know, the results of the game will be over with before this game even uploads, or this video, I should say, uploads, because it takes probably 2 hours or more to upload.
Definitely wouldn't mind seeing Minnesota do something.
No, Minnesota's cool. They haven't done anything, right?
No.
They've only made the second round once, I think, in their short 23-year, 23 years now. I mean, North Star has never won up here.
No.
Lost to Pittsburgh that year.
Yeah, the same thing in the Big Five. In terms of the Eastern Conference, Florida lost.
Yeah.
In terms of least ones, Tampa, I don't like either team. So,
I'm in that situation too. I don't like it.
So.
I find it funny though to see Toronto fans like.
Oh my God! You see there's a show on the face recap. A little kid who got himself in his jersey. The first Galaxy game 1.
Yeah. That game is coming on now in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what I'm doing while this video is uploading. Click, 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 click. So before I drop you off, we watched a lot of the Montreal Stanley Cup run there in 2014. Not last season, but the season before. That was when it was mostly in the summer. That was the late season.
Great goal.
Yeah. What made you choose the Islanders?
Like I said, I would listen to the games that season as well. The Islanders games. I don't know. My dad usually liked the games, so I just watched them. So I would usually listen to them, and I just like the energy of like the fans and just the energy in the arena and all that. I like when Beauvillier got that game winner that sent them into a game 7 against Tampa.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
The energy of the building.
Yeah,
it's off the charts.
And I started watching some games following season. I was like, I like how they play. I like the gritty play style of it.
Oh, it's an interesting way to pick up a team that is not normally.
They're not popular. It's not like a popular team.
No, it's not like you're following a group of people saying, "Oh yeah, all my buddies are Islanders fans." Right? No, I
said I got into a bit watching a couple teams, and I kept going back to the Islanders.
Then you picked up a sweater.
Yeah.
Mine was given to me by Calvin and Biv.
There you go. Perfect.
It was actually a wool sweater. Nice. Yep. So I got this. My uncle gave me a couple different flags last weekend, and
look at that.
This was one of the flags. I don't know if you have this or not.
I do not. But
that's the ones from the Coors Light.
Coors Light. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Now, of course, they got their 4 Stanley Cups on it. So I've already got one. I've got one of every one of them. So
you're collecting them. You worked for a little bit there.
Yeah. Well, I made sure I got them all. Yeah. Can't really see it on camera, I suppose. Kind of smells a bit like wood stove and backy, but
makes it even better.
Yeah. Right. That's with the years on. Yeah. Not gonna put the logo on screen because it's the bottom logo.
Yeah. Don't get
Yeah, you owe us $200 for putting that image on your screen, dude. I'm not even making. I just bought gas in the middle of recording this.
You're not gonna make it back.
There you go.
All right,
very good, sir.
Thank you
very loud, I'd say, for the.
Sorry, perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. And thank you for coming on CHOW, sir.
No worries.
I'm sure I'll probably see you sometime before the weekend's out.
Definitely. It's
right. So,
Wilds. Tomorrow night, UBS Arena.
Go Islanders.
Watch it.
Definitely want to go. I'm watching a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
Most of the East games, like I said.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well,
go
Islanders.
Yeah, go Islanders.
Hey.
Right.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao for now.
Ciao, 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 ciao. Ciao.